Hi, I'm here today at HCM Engineering in the West Midlands with Simon, who's the MD, and we're going to have a little bit of a talk about HCM, what they're doing in the marketplace, some of the sectors that HCM are operational in. HCM recently have joined the GTMA, and so it's a chance really for us also to understand what benefits Simon perceives that they're getting from membership and what more we could do. So to kick off, Simon, maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about where did HCM come from and where are you going to?
Okay, so HCM Engineering is a toolmaking business. It was established by my father in the late 60s, and now my brother and myself bought off Dad in 2006. So we have our 50-50 shareholding in the business. We design and manufacture predominantly tooling for the foundry casting industry. For automotive, because where we are here in Stourbridge near Birmingham, it was always natural to have, you got the Rover on your doorstep and all the companies that were around us. So that was always a traditional business. Dad always wanted to set it up as large, complex tooling. So to be in the Premier League of tool making, and we don't just make the tool, we make all the foundry equipment to help with the process of castings. So along with the die cast tooling, the machines and manipulators that use those through the core boxes, jigs and fixtures, and try and supply a one-stop shop to the foundry industry.
So that's got you to the stage of building a very skillful setup at HCM. But more recently, as I've seen, you've diversified into other sectors and you're looking to explore that further.
Yeah, it's sort of something that's we've talked about for a long while. I mean, COVID sort of put some halts on that, but during COVID we made sure that we invested. We've trained the youth. We have a youth academy now, and we've invested in some larger machines. We're into 3D printing, so we're now at the stage where we've set up the baseline and set up the facility so that we can now start to explore. Because what's difficult with automotive and in die casting is there's always peaks and troughs. Mm-hmm. So when you're chasing a project for Rolls-Royce or for Bentley or whoever it might be, it's very project based. And then you find that you've got these dwells. So along with, and also there's a need, I think, as there are emerging markets and the world's ever-changing place, is that we should exploit those new markets that are developing in aerospace or defence or renewables and green energy.
Yeah, well, certainly the UK government is focusing on securing supply chains in the UK. If there's a cost issue, of course there is, but keeping that intellectual property, keeping control of that within the UK is really, really important. So I've seen some of the work that you're doing for certain customers and certain sensitive work that you're doing. And it's clear to me that HCM has evolved significantly from working in the casting sector, which you still do, to being able to transfer those skill sets and the machinery and repurpose that for making componentry and satisfying the EV market, for instance.
Yeah, it's interesting because additive, I went to Australia back in 2000 and was funded by the DTI back then, as it was, and went around Australia looking at how they'd developed. I saw 3D printing for the first time in prosthetics, and we've followed that additive manufacture for the last 20 years. It's always been used in other markets, and for die casting it's very abrasive because you've got metal coming in at 750 degrees C, and it's very abrasive. And so they have developed, and we do now work with a lot of OEMs making puzzle dies, which are basically 3D printed inserts going into the main thing. So these are plug and play bits, and it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle you can make. But what we also offer, additive can't give you everything, and often as not, we're far better at subtracting. So nobody talks about subtraction engineering.
Yep.
So what we do really, really well is subtract where is applicable, and then add where it's applicable. So it's like a hybrid tool. Mm-hmm. So you use the techniques of additive to complement subtraction. Yep. And that's where we're winning at the moment. And all sorts of new markets are opening up. And there's a company in California with autonomous vehicles, and they're having to come to the UK, which is strange, that they're coming all the way from California to use our technology in driverless vehicles. And that can apply across all sectors.
Yeah, I recognise that. I did touch on the fact that you are recent members joining the GTMA, and we've had some success to date in helping you connect with other companies. How do you rate that as a service? Because I think it is important that we understand what are we doing as the GTMA, and why would you continue to become a member?
I think what you've offered, and it's I don't know if it just hit the sweet spot, but it's been, the last few months has been fantastic because it's opened up our eyes to certain new markets. We've now won new customers. I've got machines turning now that you've just seen that are making components for pharmaceuticals. Now, I've never even considered that marketplace before. But also adds there's the directory, which almost to me is like a bible of trusted UK premier engineering companies. So I had a problem with cylindrical grinding, and I got a client came and wanted, we don't do cylindrical grinding in-house. So I used to pick up the book, meet the guy, send the stuff out there, and it's almost like the trust is there. You don't have to worry that you've got to go searching on the internet trying to find somebody, and you can find anybody, couldn't you? But it's someone that you've approved and validated, and that's what really adds value to me. So you've almost formed a complete supply chain for all sorts of services that we can tap into. So it's a win-win for the customers and suppliers. We're working together as a team.
We need to obviously carry on delivering that service.
You've got to work it. I mean, you do have to. It doesn't just come easy, does it?
Of course it doesn't.
You've got to be brave enough, but it gives me the confidence that I didn't understand almost what the components were. These are specialist gauges. I didn't even understand the application. So we're diving in, because you've got that support around you, you feel stronger as a team.
Okay. Yeah, it's great to know. It's great.
And customers, I mean, obviously, there's probably 3 or 4 today that I'm already engaging and quoting with in all sorts of manufacturing. One's just come through from Ireland, which is great.
Well, hopefully we can continue to provide that level of engagement. Obviously relies on your input as well, and your participation. Moving forwards, what do you see HCM doing in the next 3-5 years? What do you want to be doing? And weaving into that, how can we look to help you in that pathway?
I think we're down the supply chain, so we haven't got a product to sell to date. We sell a service. We sell our design service. We sell simulation, and we can provide machine solutions. But Jaguar Land Rover wouldn't wake up today and suddenly say, "Well, I know what I need today. I need a tool." He doesn't. He wants a product. Yeah. So we've got to align the supply chains, and I know the current markets. That's easy for me. We've been doing it for such a long time. But new markets, sometimes you don't know where they are. What are the emerging markets? And of course, you're peppered every day with information. Yeah. How do you focus and become more of a sniper than carpet buying? So that we use the GTMAs and your resource effectively to do the market research and to explore with your events and your knowledge, so that we can dovetail into that.
That's great. And really, I hope people have been entertained and certainly drawn in by what we're talking about. But final word to you, what's the takeaway from this podcast or from this interview? What would you like people to know?
I mean, in my mind, it's about staying positive, because there's always the bad news that you read every day. I almost switch the news off these days. So there is 100% need for UK manufacturing and engineering. And if you think about it, every single plane, train, bus, car, whatever else has been redesigned. You've got the conflicts around the world. You've got the climate change and route to net zero. So there's heat pumps and solar, wind supply, and nuclear. All this, at the end of the day, will have, for me, it's metal. So there'll be some metal goods going into these industries, and we've got to tap into that. And I just think we just need to realign the supply chains. Don't do Zoom meetings like we used to when we were trapped. Get out and explore a little bit. And I think what you've given me is the inspiration and confidence to do that.
That's great. Thank you very much, Simon.
Thank you.